what I'm going to do today, I'm with 1000xAI. My name is David McMahon. We're part of the training arm for Deal.ai. So we've been doing AI training going back almost 2 years now. So when ChatGPT was fully unleashed on the public, we put on a live event in Las Vegas, and we had a couple hundred people in the room. It was actually a sold out event in person, over 300 in the room, and in a casino there off the strip. Then we had another 350 online. So it was, interest in the topic was obviously huge, and we've had events from there. So we have a pretty heavy focus on using these tools, ChatGPT, Deal, image generation tools. We have a very heavy focus on using these tools to market, attract clients, use them for your business to create content. So what I'm going to go through, my role in our company, obviously I do training, but my big role in our company is I'm actually our advertising person. So I make all of the collateral around ads, and found some cool ways with Deal, with some of the apps that come right with the software, to to actually embed my process that I was using on other tools into Deal. So it's actually kind of a one-stop shop for me. So is anybody in marketing? Put a one in the chat if you're in marketing, or if you're looking to generate content like this for your own business. You got one. There's always at least one. Awesome. Very cool. Well, I'm going to get started. I'm going to share my screen, and I have so I've got Deal up here. All right. So just kind of a quick tour. I know some of you have been on the platform for a while. Some of you might be new. There's a lot of different apps here that we can take advantage of. I'm going to focus on just a couple today, but if you and let me just put that form in the chat again, but if you have questions on Deal, or there's a link in the chat to fill that out. If you have questions on Deal, or other, anything I'm talking about today, feel free to fill out that form. It's just going to give me a list of questions to run down by the end here. I'm going to present I'll give you about a half an hour of value, and then we'll just kind of go Q&A from there. So there's a couple of tools I use to make ad copy, and I have a bit of a process around it. I'll actually share with you guys the process here. I have it in one of the workshops I give. So I'm going to put a Google Doc in the chat for you guys. Just copy it. I'm going to have it as a viewer here. Just copy this if you're interested. But this is kind of my process to generate these things. And I do it with, traditionally I've done it with ChatGPT. We just got involved with Deal. So I actually have found ways to do everything I need to do in Deal, which is really, really cool. So the ads I'm going to focus on here are scroll stopping, or the apps I'm going to focus on are scroll stopping ads, the AI videos, and then Ask Alex. You can do personalities. They're kind of interchangeable. The Ask Alex and the personalities are interchangeable as like a large language model substitute. So like if you were used to using a Gemini or a ChatGPT or even Claude, uh, this would be kind of your alternative, and it gives good responses. It gives good logic, even just in the Ask Alex one, which is included. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use an example here for like a service provider. So one of the offers, I have a background in marketing for financial advisors. So one of the offers that's been really successful for me is estate planning, actually. So you hook the financial advisor up with a vendor that offers estate plans through a website. So it's just a fillable site. And then the company actually has lawyers. It's a US based company. So the company has lawyers in every state that can then just go through, examine the documents, sign them off. And the advisor makes a little bit of money on the estate plan. The estate, obviously the vendor makes some money on it. And then here, let me just put it as That should not be locked, no. And then the goal for the advisor is to obviously do more than just make a couple $100 on an estate plan. They're gonna make a swing for the assets. So it's all an ascension model, but the good front end offer that I give is, offering a free strategy call with somebody who's familiar with estate planning and can help guide these people. So when I go into the Ask Alex app here, I'm going to do a lot of the text copy first, and then we'll go over and do images, and we can kind of go back and forth, and then we can actually make a video. So this is all in preparation to launch a paid ads campaign. But what we can also do from this is we could generate content for organic social media posting too. Not everybody wants to go out. You may have a good following already. Not everybody wants to go out and go run a full-fledged campaign, dumping, thousands of dollars into ads if you don't know what's going to work. It's good to test with your organic market. So I'm going to dictate to Deal here, and I have a tool in Chrome called VoiceIn that I use, and let me put the link to that in here. This is a dictation tool. Now the free version, it's a Chrome extension. The free version works with a bunch of sites, ChatGPT, Gmail, Google Docs, a lot of different sites. That you do have to upgrade to the paid version to go beyond that base template of sites, and that includes Deal AI. So you can obviously just type. It's just easier to dictate to the software what we want to do. So I'm going to start with, we always want to start with the foundation. So if we're going to market anything or we're going to generate content, we want something from AI. We have to give AI the context, and we have to build out these, in this case, we have to build out what we're doing in the chat so then we can get really good content out of it. So I'm going to go ahead and dictate here. You are a business consultant specializing in creating product descriptions of service businesses, I have one called the Easy Estate Plan, where customers can engage in estate planning from the comfort of their own home in far less time than they would spend with an actual attorney and for far less money. I don't want this to sound cheap, but it is a high value and a high degree of convenience. And the documents are legal and binding, they are signed off by an attorney in the client's state. Please create a product description of this service that we can use to create additional advertising material from. And just to kind of like give you, so we have a prompting philosophy that we use called the Create framework. And I am actually going to put this in. You can just download this if you like. But if you're using the Ask Alex, yes, I can enlarge the screen. But if you're using the Ask Alex app or the personalities, this philosophy still applies. So this is our create method. So when you're putting something into ChatGPT or any other AI tool, this is a good framework to get what you want to get out of it. So I'm giving the AI context. So notice I said it was it was an experienced business consultant. And then I asked for a result. So I asked for a product description. And then I explained the product, the name of it. I actually didn't ask for an audience here. You don't have to, those first three are super, super key. If you want to make even better content, we will want to give context of who we're talking to. We can ask for a tone. So when I'm going to ask for stuff that people are going to read, if I'm going to ask for ads that people are going to read, I'm going to ask it to write it in an uplifting or persuasive tone, etc. And then from there, we get our outputs, and the last E is for expand. So that's, rewrite, revise, whatever. Like once we have the output, and I'll show you once I get an ad out, we can ask the AI to then act on that because we have something for it to reference, and then I can ask it to do more of what I want it to do. So That link is in the chat. You can download this. This is just a good framework to use with the Ask Alex app. All right. So here we are. We have a service product description. You can just kind of skim this. We're going to use this. What I'm using the product description for in this context is to create content. I want to get a little bit of a marketing strategy in place. I'd like to know who I'm going to market to, who I'm most likely to engage with. And you probably already know this for your product, but you just kind of skim this. If this looks good to you, then we can go from there. If we want to expand on it, I can always go back in and write another message and say, please expand on this and really harp on the convenience and cost savings over the traditional method of going with a local attorney. So it's going to go ahead here and give me even more information. And it's going to give you a better output than I just asked for. So this will allow us to move on. So it's just a little more in depth than the initial output. So great. So then we're going to go on and we're going to identify our target buyer. This is just my flow. This is how I typically do it. But we want to identify who we're going to talk to so that we can tailor the content to them. Great. Now, acting as an expert in marketing research, please identify who my target audience would be for this. I want to know how old they are likely to be, what gender they are likely to be, and what sort of job they might have. I also want a brief on what their interests are so that I can use that later when we go to determine our targeting for our ad campaigns. And we're building from there. This, even if you know who your target audience is, this is still a good exercise to put it in the AI and just make sure it looks right. Like if you know who your target audience is, and I'll let this keep writing before I scroll back up. So if you know your target audience is, you're kind of checking it against the AI, and the AI is going to give you a little bit more context and maybe a little bit more insight as well. So having run tens of thousands of dollars at this offer myself in ad campaigns for advisors and firms and lawyers, this is dead on. 35 to 65. The average person that engaged with this was in their low 50s, and they had kids. They were thinking about putting plans together for the future, and they had accumulated some assets, usually a home and some retirement savings. Occupation, same thing, mid to high level professionals, managers, business owners, and then retirees. So you can just kind of give this the eyeball test if this looks right for you. If you don't see a version or an output that matches what you think it's going to be, I always say talk to this thing like a person, whether it's this app or ChatGPT, whatever tools you're using, kind of treat it like a person, like an assistant. And you can ask it to focus in. You can ask it questions just like you would a person. So we're going to expand from there. And we want to know where these people are hiding. The big thing with marketing is finding out where people are hiding, where you can reach them the most effectively and the most inexpensively. You are a marketing strategy expert and the CMO for a Fortune 100 company, please identify the likely platforms we can use to target this audience both online and offline. Give me a brief of where these people are most likely to engage with these offers and where I should start in terms of my paid and organic campaigns. social media, LinkedIn, Facebook. This sort of offer, any sort of consumer offer does really well on Facebook. You just have to kind of pitch it in a certain way because if you're advertising on social media, you're posting on social media, you're interrupting something else they were doing on the platform. So you need to have something that really jumps out and grabs them to engage with them. If you're all here as deal subscribers, like Alex's team does really good ads that really jump out with an offer and an endpoint, and a goal. So as opposed to if you're doing Google ads, like people are searching for you on Google, it's a search-based versus an interest-based type of platform. So if someone's searching for a term, you're competing against everybody bidding on that term is the downside to this. And obviously blogs, educational content, webinars. Webinars are great if you're selling a complicated service that takes more than, a paragraph of text to engage with. If it's a high ticket service, you can bring people into a webinar and book them to a call, or you can sell directly on the webinar if the price point's low enough. Email marketing. Email is great. There is an email builder in here. We'll discuss that. We have a member of our team that's a little bit more into the email marketing, but this will give us a good brief. We're going to focus on the social media and specifically Facebook and Instagram for the purpose of this demo. Now act as a marketing research specialist and give me a list of potential competitors that I can emulate in this space. And the reason I do that, and I'll show you, this is a neat tool that a lot of people aren't necessarily familiar with. But you can see what people are running on specifically, like you can see it. There's a couple of ways you can find ads on other platforms, but if on Meta, on Facebook and Instagram, you can take one of these competitors and you can plug it right into the what's called the Facebook ads library. I'll put a link to that in the chat. So you can actually see what people are running. So if they've been running it for a while, chances are, go back here and copy this, chances are it's doing well. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So this is a company called Trust and Will. They're a big player in the space. And you can see the campaigns they're running, and I'll zoom in. I know this was smaller earlier. But this has been running since September 26th without, maybe they turned it off and on, but they're still running a campaign that they started a month and a half ago. And it's a super simple message here. Say goodbye to the hassle of traditional estate planning, protecting what matters most in 30 minutes or less. That's a good offer. And we have a headline and a call to action here, shop now. The headline is planned today for the peace of mind tomorrow. So this is just good market research to do. And they have another one they've been running since July 31st. And this just starts with a testimonial from a happy client. And again, the image has a call to action in it. It has a, kind of an outcome in mind. Yeah, I agree, Lee. They do need scroll stopping ads. It's funny, if you dig into the financial space and the legal space, the content they put out, a big company like this, they have a good brand, but the content they put out is usually fairly unimpressive. But there's something to be said for simplicity as well. But these guys are running these guys are running campaigns. This is a couple months old, and this one's a month and a half old, and they're still running both of them. They're both active currently. We have a filter on here for active ads. We can show active and inactive, so we can actually see we're past a certain. Yeah, theirs isn't showing it. Looks like they've run the same couple of things. But if you look at, you could look at another company that does well with it. So let's go back to our market research here. Let's go to like Rocket Lawyer. I know they run a ton, but this is all just part of the research process here. And obviously this is outside a deal, but we have to kind of see what's working to know where we should aim. So these guys are focusing pretty heavily on business owners, but I'm sure they don't have a lot. They don't have anything for estate planning. So Trust and Will would be a more direct comparison. That's all they do. Rocket Lawyer is kind of a bigger company, but I always go out and just kind of, um, they call it stroll. The founder of Walmart called it strolling the aisles. So you're kind of just seeing what's available, what's out there, and that's going to kind of just guide us. We could actually use some of these ad templates to bring this content that's clearly working if they're spending money on it. We can bring that into our strategy, and then we can differentiate ourselves. So moving on, I'm going to actually write the ads. I know in that document I shared, the images and video come first. We're going to actually write the ads first, and then we'll go out to the other app here. So staying in this app here, I'm going to give it a prompt to get them going with that create framework. You are a Madison Avenue expert marketer specializing in creating highly converting ads on Meta to sell services. Please create a long copy Facebook ad written in the style of Dan Kennedy to promote this service listed above, the Easy Estate Plan. Sometimes the dictation hears you weird. So, but but this would be the text in the ad. So as you saw up here, like these guys are running a one sentence offer. I asked it for an ad written in the style of Dan Kennedy. Yeah, I could do that. I asked it for an ad written in the style of Dan Kennedy, which is more of a sales letter type of output that I'm asking for. Here, let me put this. I'm going to put this prompt in the chat here for you guys, so you can play with this. So you can kind of insert your variables as well. But it gives me the headline, which on the meta ad is down here. And then it gives me the subheadline, and these guys are using a subheadline as well. And I would refine this. There is actually a character limit to show it in all of the placements on Meta. It's a character limit of 40 to make sure it fits everywhere. So that headline's way too long, but the headline's a bonus. I asked it for the long copy ad, and it gave me a headline as a bonus, and the subheadlines. You have a little more leeway on the subheadline, but as you can see, like these guys are even showing something that's a little bit longer, and then it goes right into the ad copy. This first paragraph plus the headline plus your image or your video, those are the three things that get people to stop scrolling. So this is actually what I would ask this to do is, because that's all that's above the fold. In a long copy ad, they do have to do that show more thing to read the rest of it. So everything in this first paragraph needs to jump out, needs to make the call to action, scare the people. If it's an offer like estate planning, you have to lean a little bit heavily on fear of pain, and the pain in this case is not having documents in place that can make sure their plan goes according to their wishes. So, but it's decent. It goes in, it's used strong on the product description, and it's putting features and benefits, a little bit of urgency here, and then it's making a call to action to visit our website. So these would be things we would change this out for a booking link or put it on your site and people can fill out a lead form. But I would dance with this thing a little bit, and I want this first ad to be right so that we can ask for a variation. I usually go in with 2 or 3 text ads and then a whole bunch of videos and images so that we can have a good combination. We can see what pulls so that we can turn off the things that don't pull that are, they're kind of the losers in the ad, so to speak. And we could direct all the budget to the things that do pull. Please rewrite the ad above and make the opening sentence of the ad copy more compelling and more jarring. Lean on the pain of not taking action while offering a path forward. And it gave me a different headline, a different subheadline, which is great. I would ask for a headline separately as well, just so we have a bunch to pick from. So this is largely the same, but the initial sentence here is jarring. What if tomorrow comes and it's too late to secure your family's future? It's like, whoa, you know, that plus your image should be enough to pull someone in to at least read the ad. And then we talk about how, you know, how bad it might be without a plan. And then we're saying, but there's a solution right here. We introduce our product as the solution. So that's much more what I want. So now I'm going to have it write a variation, and you can have AI write in style, any style you want. I'm in marketing, so Dan Kennedy is, you know, is someone that stands out as he's an incredible marketer. He has this very specific style. Gary Halbert's another great copywriter that we could draw on, but you could ask it to write like anybody, anybody that you like, or anyone that's an authority in your space and has a specific style of speaking. But let's make a variation here so that we have two variations, and we'll ask for some headlines. Great. Now, acting as an expert marketer, specializing in writing highly converting meta ads for service businesses, comma, please write a variation of the last ad above, but write it in the style of Gary Halbert. And this is going to hit the same points. It's just going to write it in a slightly different style. So we're seeing the headline's a little bit different. This is pretty jarring. Are you playing Russian roulette with your family's futures? Avoid the nightmare of leaving your family unprotected. Your legacy secured your way. It's awesome. And then this is a pretty good first sentence, you know, calling them out like you're speaking directly to them. What's your plan for ensuring your loved ones aren't left in chaos and confusion after you're gone? That's jarring. That should get someone who is a likely buyer to click on this. And then it's, again, features and benefits, padding value, creating urgency, call to action, which is just book a call or whatever, click to learn more. Absolutely, Chuck, you can definitely do that. So we can, FOMO is excellent. So here, watch this. So please rewrite the last ad and lean heavy on the concept of FOMO, which is fear of missing out. And it could go from there. It's a good suggestion. So we're calling out, everyone's gearing up to protect their family while you're still wondering what if. So that's a pretty good intro too. I mean, you could run all three of these with the different combinations of your images and create a, you know, really good campaign from there. And then we'll just ask for headlines again. We're gearing this towards meta, so there is that 40 character limit. So I'm gonna constrain it. Great. Now write me 20 headlines that are 40 characters or less that could promote this offer. And then you just kind of take your pick here from what you see. Like these would all be really effective. This one I have used in the past. It's funny it came up with it. Simplify your estate plan, protect your legacy, estate plan, safe and legal, your legacy, your control. These are awesome. Fast and easy. Fast and easy is super effective in this space. If you can create as little friction as possible for people to engage, it's a winner. All right. So I'm going to move on here. There, we could prompt forever. I know the document I shared has some call outs to generate emails. There's actually an app to do that. We're going to do email later. But once people engage, even if they don't book an appointment, capture a lead by offering a guide or something like that. But we would want to follow up with some sort of email. We want to nurture. Kind of the name of the game is getting people onto your list and getting consent to have a conversation with them, so that you can then keep dripping on them. So we're gonna go out of the Ask Alex app here. Oh, we are gonna do one more thing actually. Yep. I'll put the Word doc in there and the Google Doc. I know people were having a hard time making a copy of the Google Doc, but that's kind of a framework, and there's actual I'll just show you in the document. So there's variables that you can put in here that fit your offer. So there's the actual prompt I used and the example I used. This was a coaching and training program for financial advisors. But the prompt then is down here with your variables. So you can kind of fill in the blank for what you want. But now we're going to go out of this. We're going to ask for the targeting information really quick, and then we'll go out of this and we'll make some images and some videos. So going into targeting, you are a world-renowned marketer. You are a Madison Avenue marketing expert specializing in creating advanced Facebook and Instagram targeting strategies for successful service business campaigns. What type of targeting should I utilize, and what specific interests, behaviors, and demographics should I use in targeting the audience most likely to purchase this service? So it's going to kind of rewrite some of the information above, who we think we're targeting, gender, all genders. I found when I marketed this offer, because I've actually put a lot of dollars behind this, that uh, women were more likely to engage with it and follow through with it. Married or partnered, typically, um, and then interests here. So it's going to kind of point us in the direction of the interests that we can use. And if you've ever, and I can give a longer talk on this at a later date, if you've ever advertised in Meta, when you go in and you build the ad campaign, and then you have the ad set. The ad set is where you choose what to target. So you can leave it broad. You can pick what state, what gender, what age, and then there's a section for interests that you can suggest to it things that people are actually interested on the platform, on the platform. And they get that, Meta gets that information by you liking pages and doing certain activities on the platform. The other thing we could use, and it's going to mention this here, is what's called a lookalike audience. So if you have a customer list of people that are your customer already, or have indicated interest in this, you can actually take the list in the spreadsheet format, as long as you have the name and email at least at a minimum. You can put that into Meta and use it as what's called a lookalike audience. So it's not going to find those exact people you can ask it to, but it's going to find people that do similar things on the platform. And it's going to try and match that to a certain degree. So that's something we can cover later, but just kind of getting into using the tools. And this is just a use case here. and it goes into interest layering. I am a big fan of combining, a list of things to go out and go look for in terms of interest. You can cross-reference them against other factors too. So this is a pretty good brief on what we want to do. We're then gonna make some scroll stopping ads. Since I'm in here, I'm gonna ask the AI for a prompt. One of the things that I like to do, I don't like to start from scratch when I'm generating an image. I want the AI to have a prompt for me. So you are a Madison Avenue marketing expert, specializing in creating highly converting ad images. Please create 3 different text prompts that I can use to generate images to promote this offer. And we'll take these and go over into the scroll stopping ad. So it has callouts here, like as you know, as I showed earlier, like I put text over images. So I'll take it out to Canva and I'll throw text over the top just to make a call out because I don't want to waste any space. If I just show an image of a house or a legal document here, I'd like to put a call out here because you have just these 3 spaces where you can capture somebody's interest. So we'll take this prompt and we're actually going to go over to the scroll stopping ads and make an image from it. So I'm just going to duplicate the tab so that we can go back and forth. So going in here, and I practice what I preach. I use this thing to make really cool ads. And if you know, you can do it by project. So we'll actually do estate planning example so that you can just organize all the images into one project here. So I'll just paste that prompt right in there. And then when we're advertising on Meta, the reason these 3 aspect ratios are presets and scroll stopping ads is these are the same image shape as different parts of the Meta platform. So the 9:16 is the stories, the 1:1 is anything in the feeds, and the 16:9 is the stuff off to the right on the desktop app. It's or the desktop site. It's the search results and the things that appear to the right of your feed. So we'll start with a 1:1, and I'll take each prompt and we'll just make a different shaped image. But if you were looking to really test these images against each other, you would take the same prompt and you would make one of each shape and plug it into the different placements in the ads manager. But we'll just do one shape of each prompt. So we'll start with the square one here. The isolation is going to create a plain background for the image. I like to do black and hope that I'm going to get bright colors out of the scroll stopping ads maker. But you can do different, you can kind of preset it to do different backdrops for you. And then for my, your mileage might vary. For me, I leave all this stuff on for maximum scroll stopping power. And there are some setting, you can just enable that by clicking this little gear here and you can change some of these. Target audience, we're going to say professionals ages 35 to 65. Usually married, looking to protect their family's financial future. And then we can pick the image type. I'm going to go with a photograph here, but again, your mileage might vary. You may want to do more of a cartoon type thing. It just depends on what you're advertising. I'm going towards an older crowd here. Not older, but it's 35 plus. And we're looking for professionals. I want the ad to look kind of professional and show stopping. Image style, I'll leave it on realistic. I've done well with these minimalist ones. You can play with this. And do we have any colors we want to use in the image? Because this is an ad, I do like bright colors. I'm going to ask it for a red specifically. And then we're going to leave this empty. They recommend leaving this empty, but you can give additional prompting and it's just going to take that into effect. So now we're ready just to click go and we're going to generate the ad. Any questions while that's loading? Thank you. Awesome, guys. Yeah, don't, if you, so this has created kind of a vault type image in line with the prompt that we got from the Ask Alex app. So we could go out and you can actually star these for yourself too if you want to create kind of a reference and a way for you to decide once you've generated a bunch of images, you have a big repository of, of content that you can kind of pick from. But if I'm happy with this and I'm reasonably happy, we have 3 different prompts here. I'm just going to download it anyway, and I'm going to grab it as a PNG. But you can do additional, you can create images here, you can edit it further, you can share it with people via a link. There's a lot of stuff that you can do. For this example, generating an ad, we're just going to download it just so that we have it. I like it. I'm going to probably I'd probably take it out to Canva and do a little doctoring with it. Throw a call to action on the bottom, contrast against a different color bar, just so that we can get people to engage with the offer. So going back to the app here, we're going to grab another prompt, and you could prompt this thing endlessly. Like if you don't like what you're getting, you can also ask it for more, something that's more in line. So let's say, please give me 3 additional prompts with a focus on family, walking together out in nature. I want to show a multi-generational family of grandparents, parents, and children all together and happy. I'm cheating to an extent. I've run thousands and thousands of dollars of ads at this particular offer, so I know what the it gave me images. Let me put this in here. So I know what converts here. So it is actually making images right here. So we don't necessarily have to go to scroll stopping, but these are, I wouldn't, it's biting me a little bit. It could be the way I'm wording it, but you kind of get the idea. I'm asking it to modify what it's put out here. If I want to see something specific, I can also in the initial prompt where I ask for this, I can just kind of change what I'm asking for. I'll try one more time. If not, we're going to keep going with the prompts that we have. Going here. Yeah, I know. There we go. Yeah, the key here was that I'm asking very specifically for text prompts. I was a little shorthand here, and then I had a typo, so I think that was kind of the holdup here. But now we have a prompt. So we're going to try one of these with the scroll stopping ad now. And I'm going to change this out. So again, we do have to pick different image sizes for different placements on Meta. So we want this one to be like a story, an Instagram or a Facebook story. So we're going to take that prompt, plug it right in there. And then I'm going to leave all the other settings on. I asked for realistic photograph. I asked for red. And we're going to go ahead and have it create another ad. If you're doing this for a full campaign, you would want to, with that same first prompt, you would want to generate the 9 by 16 and the 16 by 9. So you have all three different image sizes that you can use in all the different placements on Meta. Any additional questions while that's generating? Should take just another couple seconds here. Thank you. Appreciate that. Actually, while that's generating, we'll just generate something else here. So we're going to ask for a text prompt, and we'll actually generate a video as well. Oh, good question. How do you change the aspect ratio of each image? So that is there are presets in here right under the prompt. So there's presets, and these fit the different placements on Meta. So the 9 by 16 would be more like the stories on Facebook and Instagram. The 1 by 1 is going to be the posts in the news feed, both on mobile and desktop, and you know for both apps, Instagram and Facebook. And then the 16 by 9 is that right hand column, that's the search results, and those aren't shown as much. The vast majority of what you're going to get clicks on and action on will be the 9 by 16 and the 1 by 1. Awesome. Good question, Lee. How to create the three different sizes of the same images. So I created and it added it to the repository here below. I'm all in one project. So I created a 9 by 16. I'm just going to ask it to generate again. So now I want it to do just a square 1 by 1. I'm going to create another scroll stopping ad. And it's going to give me using that same prompt and that same idea, like as long as I like what came out here, I'm going to have it take that same prompt and just generate again. If I didn't like something, you can also, nothing says you have to take these prompts as they are. You can add, delete, modify things in the text that you think will pull it in a specific direction. Yes, yeah, it will make a new image every time. So that's where the trial and error does come into play. So obviously this going down to the bottom here, like this is a different image. You know, these are different people. It's like somewhat similar setting, but the image is just different. So it's nature of the beast. You don't necessarily like you have to think about this because we're running a paid campaign. Like you don't get unlimited shots at these people. So that they're likely to see another image in the um in the future if you keep running the campaign. But it's not super important that it's the same characters in the stories placement as it is in the other placements. You are right. If you make a 1 to 1, you can use it everywhere. You just have to be careful if you do put text over it because the text can get cut off depending on where it is. There's different parameters for stories. There's actually kind of like a safety window in the middle where it's kind of this middle 60% of the ad that's safe to put the text in. So if you have text way at the top and way at the bottom, it's going to cut it off on the stories if you're using the 1 by 1. But if you like a specific image, you can edit. Like I could turn this into kind of a 1 by 1 too. There is an editor in here. So great. So I'm going to move on. I think you guys get the idea on the images. I could do it as 16 by 9. I'll have one of those generate in the background. But I am going to just show you the video editor or the video creator because that is a tool. That is the tool I use more than anything else. So we're going to take that third prompt of the second generation of prompts and we're going to pop that in. I'm going to again leave the same settings on. Well, actually, for the sake of variety, let's ask for green here. just to show, because we do have kind of reds, like a reddish orange kind of thing going on here. So we're going to ask for green in this situation. So going back to the Ask Alex app, I'm going to ask for the text to create a video here. What I normally do in the video maker is I'm usually driving people to a landing page, so I can just give it the link and I'll show you how to do that. But there's also a way to make the videos just with text. So you can just describe it. So now please write a text prompt that can be used to generate a video to promote this offer. Because why write it yourself if AI can write it probably better? So that's why we keep coming back here. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to copy it, and I'll go into I'm in the AI videos app. So this is usually in the first couple of apps here when, obviously people rearrange their dashboard here, but we're going to go into the AI videos app and we're going to generate a video using the text generation here. We can do a site. So if you have your site or a landing page that you're promoting, you can put the link to it right in there. It's going to read everything on that site and make a video from it. But we're going to do it with the text generation. We're going to do it with that prompt that we got. So I'm going to paste that right in here. And then I always expand the settings here because again, we're showing it on Meta and I like to have something that fits the stories very well and something that fits the feed very well. So we're going to pick our theme above the advanced settings. Maybe we want to inspire it, tell a story. I'm going to put it as inspirational. A lot of the stuff I do hype, but we're going to do inspirational here. You can pick your audio language and then pick your images. I'm going to go photorealism just because of the crowd that we're going for. We're going for someone, 35 to 65 and beyond. Then you can pick your voice and you can hear the samples here. Let me make sure my sound is on the share. Make sure I'm not blasting this out of my speakers, creating crazy echo. So you can just hear a sample of the voice.
Welcome to Deal.ai. Get everything your business needs in one.
And there's a ton of them. So if you think it would do well with a female voice.
Welcome to Deal.ai. Get everything your business needs in one platform. Welcome to Deal.ai.
So we'll just stick with Adam for this one. I use that one the most. And then we can choose the music in the background. So again, we're always keeping in mind who we're putting this out to. So if I'm putting this out to retirees, I don't necessarily want to put EDM, electric dance music in there. Maybe not hip hop, although it's pretty inoffensive hip hop that it usually puts in. Rock, I like it. You do folk. Folk ends up being kind of, and you can listen to samples too. Like for a soft retirement, future estate planning type of offer, that might be what I would pick. You can also put your own music in. Then captions, we want this. This is the coolest thing about the AI videos in Deal, is it writes the captions for you. I don't know if you've ever tried to put captions into a video after the fact, even if you generated the audio somewhere else, the captions and then having this highlight feature, like there's gonna be a colored bar focusing on each word that this thing says. Transcript color, we're gonna keep that red. Font family, we could play with the font. And then number of slides just determines how long the video is. So it's how long is it going to talk about it. So it's showing as 5 seconds a slide. I'll leave it at 6. And then this is where we get into different placements on Meta. So we're gonna go portrait for the more stories type placement, and then we'll go back and we'll go do landscape for the rest of it. And then you can choose how it animates. So what this does is it creates a bunch of images and then it speaks over it with music and the captions, and it highlights where they are in the captions. I usually just leave it pan center. It makes a nice video. So we're going to go ahead and create that because that does take a second here. And then I want to see if anybody's put any questions on that form. Any questions you guys have, definitely put them in the chat. I'm happy to talk to you guys about really anything about the platform. I see the world through the lens of the paid ad. So that's what this demo is about, but we're gonna cover something new every week, and we're gonna go ahead and just show you different use cases. We want to make sure you're getting the most out of the platform and that you don't feel lost, and there's a place that you can come to every week to get training, get your questions answered. So, there and these will all be, we're going to do this ongoing, same time every week. We're just going to keep re-inviting you guys. And there's different members of the team that will be giving training as well. So this usually does take a few minutes. It doesn't take the full 8 minutes that it says. I like that it under promises and over delivers. It's usually about half the time. It's 3 or 4 minutes. And then you can go on and edit from there. Awesome. Question for those of you attending the event on the 15th and 16th. That's our Certified AI Marketer Boot Camp and the White Label Boot Camp. Those are that's a combination of Deals running the White Label Boot. Deals team is directly running the White Label Boot Camp, and 1000X is running the Marketing Boot Camp. Our session will definitely be recorded, and I believe Deals is as well. But any questions you have on that, I'm just going to put my email in the chat. Have I run ads using AI videos? Many. The stuff that does well is stuff like this. So I'll show you what we came out with here. So we have our ad here about estate planning. We're going to watch it as it is. We can actually go back and edit the text, which is also really cool.
In the heart of nature, generations unite to create memories that bridge the past and future. Laughter echoes as they stroll through life's vibrant tapestry, weaving bonds of love and joy. Back at a cozy home, they pause together, ushering a new chapter of security and peace. With the easy estate plan, they cherish today while safeguarding tomorrow's promise. Embrace convenience, affordability, and peace of mind, a legacy well within reach. Start planning today for a protected, harmonious future with those you love most. In the heart of nature,
so maybe a little wordier, because we have a piece of content that's for your website can be a little fluffier. This is probably a little wordier than I would want it to be for an ad, but we can go through here so you can see these are all the videos, my last few videos I've generated. So we can actually go through here and change what the image is. So if you have your brand or your logo, you can actually load it right in. And we can play with the text here. We can change what's in here. So maybe it's a little bit more to the point, because that's a nice piece of content and it's a feel good piece of content. But even this is super cool. Estate plan completed. Like, it's a really cool piece of content. We just have to we got to make it a little more exciting to get people engaged. That's actually why when I'm generating a video in here, I stick to the hype, and we can kind of play with some of the settings. But you can prompt it 6 ways from Sunday. If you like the images, my coaching would be just to change the text and keep this short. Keep it as short as the system made it, because what's going to happen is it's going to stay on that image too long. And you can add slides here, right? So these are each 5 seconds. Just keep that in your mind. But we can go in and add a scene here, and I can have it generate an image, or I can throw in, this is an ad that I make. This is what was available. So I'm just putting an image in, and then I can type out my stuff here. So if you want to write something that's longer than what they wrote, my coaching is add another scene. But it's the video is super effective. If you don't have your own organic video, like being able to put something like this together. Yeah, we can change the text. So when we go into the edit here, we can go ahead and change whenever we edit. So if I change one character about this, I can go to the bottom. It wants something here, but I can go to the bottom and just click regenerate. It wanted something because I added a scene without any text. But let's go into advanced settings. So we want to make sure, like if we want to change our prompt, we can do that here. And then as far as the transcript position, you see this caption position setting here. You can go ahead and put it at the top. I have it in the center by default, and that's what, if you don't change it, it's going to go where it was, right in the middle, or you can put it at the bottom. So it's just going to pick one of those three spots in the video. That is kind of the nuts and bolts. I mean, with that stuff, you can go out and go run a campaign and make, you can make social media content. And it's just to kind of get ideas percolating for you on how you can use these tools. And I know I'm gonna wrap it up in just a minute here, but my flow, I got started doing this stuff on ChatGPT. My flow is to do it all in a chat. So I asked for the headlines here. There's actually, you don't even have to do this. There's an app for this in Deel. So let me actually go back to that chat. Let me just ask it for a quick description of the business. Create a 1-paragraph description of this business. And we're going to take this, and there's an app called Magic Hooks that is much more in depth than what I asked for from the chat here. And it's going to actually give you, and I'll show you, it's going to give you a whole bunch of headlines, and it actually grades on what it thinks will click well. Does the message can the audience digest the message quickly? And then is there potential for virality? So I'll show you that. So we're going to take this description, and I like to have a 1-paragraph description to go do this. We're going to go back to the home screen, and we're going to go to this hook icon here for Magic Hooks. And we're already in that project. These projects carry across the platform. So we're in this estate planning example project that I made the scroll stopping ads for. So we can just stay within that. And this just helps keep you organized. If you're doing work for clients, if you're a professional marketer, you probably have multiple clients in very different fields. So being able to organize it in different projects is super, super handy. But we're going to take this description of the business, and I'm just going to paste that right in here. And that's why I asked for a paragraph. I don't know what the character limit is on this, or if there even is one, but I wanted concise, right? I wanted just a single paragraph here. So we can keep it towards positive language, negative language. Negative works well in this space. It just does. You gotta play on people's fear a little bit. But then we're inspirational, we're offering them a way out. That's you kind of paint the picture of the problem, and then you give them an easy way out for service. So we'll actually go, we'll keep it inspirational. You can go fear-based. You just have to talk about what the pain point is, and you could lean on the Ask Alex app to create those pain points. But we'll run this kind of stock. We'll run it inspirational. It has a length slider here. We're going to keep it on the short side. I don't like long headlines. They tend to get chopped off. Persuasiveness, we'll keep it medium high. We don't want to be slick used car salesman necessarily. No offense to if any of you sell used cars on here, but we don't want super slick. We also don't want to be like, hey, here's what we do. Yeah, we want to create action here, and we'll leave the creativity high. Is it a price-driven hook? No, not really. We're not putting the price in the hook. I don't like emojis in headlines, so we're not going to. And then it actually has our target audience that we put in for the images. I'm just going to leave this as it is on the examples of good hooks. I do like I do like being able to trigger people quick, easy, effortlessly, and then we'll just leave this blank. So we're going to create these hooks. So this thing creates really, really cool headlines, and then it grades them, and you can take them out and test them. You can actually test 5 different headlines per ad, and Meta will actually make a decision about which one pulls. But you give them a lot of options, and then they kind of their system hones in on what's the best one to serve. So, and then I'll wrap it up after this. So if you have any questions, I'd love to happy to field them before while we're waiting on this to generate. Thank you, thank you. We will put this. We have a training portal that we use, or we could put it in Academy. I'll see what's best. We may want to just put it in a Deal Academy for everybody, so that there's a repository of these recordings. So if you miss a call for whatever reason, we'll have the topic of the call, and you can go back and reference it. I think that's what we'll actually end up doing as well. Is just putting it in a Deal Academy so that you can go back and consume it later, or review. If you were on the call live and you like something about the demo, you can always go back and take a peek. All right, awesome. So this is super cool because if you recall, I asked for 40 or 20 or 4, I don't even remember how many headlines. I think 20. I asked for headlines and it just gave me headlines, but it didn't give me any insight. So it has this grading system on clickability, so how effective it's going to be at getting clicks, likability, so the ability of it to get likes, comments, and go viral with the audience that we put in place. And then availability, this is super cool. It's how easily can the target audience grasp the value proposition of your hook. So I find this to be super neat. And again, it has the same star system that the scroll stopping ads do. So you can kind of go through and star them so that you can review and reference later kind of what you liked, what you didn't like. If you used one in one campaign, you may want to use another one later. But this is, and we can kind of go through here and decide, what's the best balance of all of these. Having run this a lot for a lot of different people in a lot of different markets, things like this are super effective. Don't delay, take control of your future today. It's easy, effortless. Stop waiting. Don't leave uncertainty. Create an easy estate plan effortlessly. Don't overthink. These are great. And we could go back and we could say, you know what, let's go positive here. And we'll create more hooks. But this is an awesome tool, and there's a quick copy button here, so you don't even have to old school it and highlight it. You question to me about the certification. This is a good question for everybody. I know that was sent to just myself and the host. So if you do the Certified AI Specialist course online that you purchase through Deal, we've now implemented if you pass the assessment at the end of it, and that course teaches you what I just taught you and so much more. It's from a 3-day event we did. It's really highly produced. It's really great. You do get a certification at the end if you pass the assessment. If you didn't for some reason, because we just added that to the learning management system. Prior to that, we were just making people certifications and sending them. We make you a nice document, give you a logo that you can use on your LinkedIn. But prior to that, we were making them ourselves. So it is actually, if you reach 100% completion in the course in a learning management tool called Thinkific, you get a certification. Thank you, Chuck. So you've already seen me present, Chuck, if you watch the whole course. Awesome. All right, so these are our new hooks. I'll answer that in just a second. So this is the positive tone. So we're saying secure your family's future easily from home, effortlessly protect your legacy from the comfort of home, quickly safeguard your loved ones. These are great. These would all pull. The yeah, so the question was, is the CAIS for 2 days or a 1 day course? So the course we've been talking about it's from a 3 day training that we did, and it has all of the exercises and assessments in there. It won't take you 3 days to complete it, but it will take you a little bit of time. The event this Friday and Saturday, there's two events, and our team's putting on a 1 day intensive marketing boot camp, which I can pop that in here. And then Deal.ai is running their white label boot camp afterwards. But if you're interested in the marketing event, this is virtual and in person. That's the link to engage with that. And Darren, just to submit work or projects, this is the 1000x AI support email. It's info@1000xai.com. If you don't have the course, it's a great course. It's some of our best stuff, and through this tool, Thinkific, we've been able to offer it at scale and train a ton of people, which is just awesome. So if you're interested in engaging with that course, this is how you do that from Deal. So it's our team training. We actually have certified trainers that were on and trained at that event. It was held in the event that we have all the recordings from. We went into that event to get with Professional AV to go to create an awesome course of our training. That event was held in New Hampshire. Actually, I'm from New Hampshire originally. So, any other questions before we wrap it up? It's been great having you guys here. Awesome. And if you want to reach out to me specifically, just shoot me an email. That's my 1000x email, david@1000xai.com. That's in the chat. This presentation, we're going to actually host this in the Deal Academy. We're going to just build. This is the first of the 1000x trainings on Deal, our weekly training. We call it our AI Express. So we're actually going to host this in an academy on Deal.ai that you have access to for as long as you're in the software, basically. Yep, right from the horse's mouth. So awesome. Well, if there are no other questions, I will wrap it up here. This has been awesome. We love teaching. Really happy to get started on this road with you guys. We want to support you guys. So come with your questions every week. We're here to answer them. We're going to give you a use case like this. This was a long one, but we're going to give you some sort of use case every week using the apps in the software. And then we're going to, we'll field questions. This is the place to come and bring your questions. And there's no such thing as a bad question. I know some people might think there is, but, Daisy, you should have an email from us. I hope it's not in spam. Can you please email me directly? And I'll make sure to follow up with you. I have you on your email. But if you want to get started with an email to me, I'm happy to troubleshoot anything related to Certified AI Specialist, or if you're stuck on anything or have any questions. Awesome. Thank you guys. That's my email in the chat. Copy it. And I will see you guys next week. I think Clifton from our team is going to do the call next week. He does a great bit on content. So. Yep, Mia, just email me. You should be registered, but I can send you your sign-in information. If for some reason that that hits spam or something like that, you get an email from the vendor Thinkific, but if for some reason it got lost in there or buried in your inbox or in spam, I'd just love to hear from you so that I can get you going. Awesome. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. This was great. Have a great day.